Hi, this is Diana, and I'm here to bring you a Survivor December 7th recap. So the show opens with Brandon telling everybody he wants morning prayer, and Edna says, "No way, Jose, if I'm not part of the tribe and I'm on the chopping block, and I was never really a real part of this tribe, there's no way I'm going to sit there and pray with you." She goes off and she's talking about how they treat her like a second-class citizen. And, some of it's self-pity, some of it's justified. Edna seems to forget that Edna was on the chopping block way back in the only Apulu days and was saved by Coach. And she's offended that she's number 6 on the list. Well, Edna, you've done nothing the whole game. She also talks about bullying, and I think to myself, Edna, not everything is bullying. Yeah, you're number 6 and that sucks, but not everything is bullying. And for those kids out there who are really being bullied on a daily basis, who really suffer, I hate when other people overuse it's bullying, because you're diminishing what those kids go through, and I don't like that. So then we get the Sprint phone family messages, and they all cry, of course, when they see their family members and they know that they're on the island. Go off to the duel. One of the best parts of the entire show was this duel, and it was by far the best duel, in my opinion, of the entire season. Why? Because Ozzy is so confident in his ability to beat everybody at the duel, and the night before at Redemption Island, he basically told Cochran, well, I'm going to beat you at the duel. It was matter of fact. Cochran is the first person all season that gave Ozzy a real run for his money, and to see Ozzy sweat it out was a little bit of fun for me, because for the first moment you saw Ozzy a little worried at a duel that he was actually going to lose, and to, of all people, Cochran. In the end, Ozzy won by, just very luckily, and he was quite humble and a little shocked. He was shocked that Cochran gave him a real run for his money, kind of shaking it off and looking worried there for a little bit. Cochran had a nice moment at the end when he talked to Jeff and said, I lived my dream and I did things I didn't think I could do, and this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And it was a really good Cochran show today. I mean, for Cochran, he wasn't Weasley. He wasn't complaining. He went after that duel and he really tried, and he came really close to knocking down Ozzy. So then Ozzy gets to choose which people can be with their families for the day. He chooses Albert first. Then he's informed that he can choose another. Then he chooses Coach. Then he's informed he can choose another, and he chooses Brandon. Sophie's dad, Edna's little sister, and Rick's wife have to leave the island without, they got to hug each other and stand there and look at him for a little bit, but then they left. The other people go to Redemption Island with Ozzy, and then they have their product placement moment of the show with the Sprint phone, taking pictures and making a big deal out of it. But then something really interesting happens, and that is Brandon's dad starts talking to Brandon and realizes Brandon is playing a weird game, and he's going to lose because he doesn't care at all about winning. He's like, I'm standing on my values and my principles, and screw the $1 million. I don't care. I'm going to stand on my principles, blah, 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 blah. And his dad is like, you're here to win money, and you're here to represent your family, and you have a job to do, and you're supposed to do that job. And Brandon's like, nope, it's good. I'm going to lose, and I'm okay with that because I'm going to stand on principle. And Brandon's dad's like, but. So, in a move I have only seen from a Hans and unbelievable, his dad starts to go strategize on Brandon's behalf, campaigning to Coach for Coach to keep him, and he tells Brandon, whatever Coach says, you do for the rest of this game. You do it. You understand me? And I have never seen a family member come out and start playing the game. Leave it to a member of the Hans family to do that. Coach's response to this is, and then in his confessional, he says, I'm not going to let that guy strong arm me. He comes from the same cloth as Russell, and it's not happening. So, also at Redemption Island, Coach approaches Ozzy, and he tells Ozzy, you and me final 3, I want us to be there no matter what. I give you my word as a Christian man. And then in confessional, he says, when I say I give you my word as a man, that's one thing. He says, when I say it as a Christian man, that's everything. So he fully intends on wanting Ozzy to go to the final 3. How that's going to work, I'm not quite sure. But Ozzy's all down for that, and there's that little side alliance with Ozzy and Coach at the end. Now they go to the immunity challenge, and it is a really simple immunity challenge. There's not really much drama to it except for Brandon. First of all, the immunity challenge is simple. Flip over a piece of wood and step on it. When you have run out of places to step, you're out. Brandon starts, everybody's playing, and you can be a little strategic in cutting people off and giving them nowhere else to go. And that was Brandon's goal. And Albert goes out first, then Brandon goes out. But in the process, he cut Edna's way of places she could go out. And when he gets back to the bench, he tells Albert, Jeff overhears it, and he says, well, I was just trying to make sure somebody else didn't win. And it goes, you can say my name, Brandon. Now, Brandon thinks that just because he's telling the truth, he's acting like a good Christian. From one Christian to another, Brandon, dude, no, you don't get to throw the truth at someone in a cruel way, and that's being a Christian. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. You told her the other night when Cochran was being voted off that she was next. That's all you had to do. You did not have to keep rubbing it in her face and making her feel like crap. It wasn't necessary. It was cruel, and that's not the actions that you should be taking as a Christian man. Moving on. Coach won immunity, and he is pretty happy. Edna goes back and tries to get Coach, Albert, and Sophie to vote out Brandon. She gives some pretty compelling arguments, but in the end, as they always have, the original 5 stuck to the plan, voted out Edna, and they made it from day 1 all the way to final 5. No matter what you think of this family, this tribe, they stuck it out, and that is rare in any kind of game like Big Brother or Survivor, where an alliance forms on day 1, and no matter what the opportunities were, they stuck to it all the way through. These next couple of shows are going to be really great to watch the dynamics of this final 5 come down and see who makes it to the final 3. That's Survivor for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it.